In this video, you will see a tribute done by Howard Cosell, the legendary Hall of Fame broadcaster of sports and boxing. The tribute was done specifically for Salvador Sanchez, the featherweight champion and lineal champion of the WBC from 1980 to 1982. This tribute shows the prowess of Howard Cosell and his ability to narrate through a tragic event and his all-around journalistic skills. Also shows the life and the tragic death of Salvador Sanchez, of a man that could have been possibly the greatest boxer of all time and the greatest Mexican boxer of all time. So you guys get two legends in one video, in a vintage video that was done by ABC Sports, Worldwide of Sports, during that era in the early 80s. If you guys dig this content, subscribe to What Rep It Combat Sports Network. And again, guys, enjoy this video. It's a vintage video. Salute to you all.
Consecutively. Now the tribute. It was February 2, 1980, when Salvador Sanchez, at the age of 21, a relative unknown, became the WBC featherweight champion of the world. The opponent, considered a great champion, was Danny Little Red Lopez, a great puncher. Here in the early going, Sanchez was able to do what many had done to Lopez: clean up on him, build up a lead, but most couldn't sustain. Sanchez could sustain. As you see here, in the 13th round, it was over for Little Red. Greatly conditioned and with remarkable stamina, Sanchez showed steadily the ability to come from behind. His first defense was against Ruben Castillo from Bakersfield, California, in Tucson, Arizona, April 12, 1980. Castillo fought cleverly, even brilliantly, built up a lead. But then, in the late rounds, it was all Sanchez as he won the decision. Then he would go against Danny Little Red Lopez again, and it was almost an instant replay of the first time. Little Red gave it everything he had, but he was facing a better man, and he knew it. And in the 14th round, the fight had to be stopped as Lopez wobbled across the ring. And then perhaps the fight that brought Sanchez finally the recognition he deserved against Wilfredo Gomez, considered by many to be perhaps the best puncher of his era, inch for inch and pound for pound. In the very first round, Sanchez, a 2-1 underdog, floored Gomez, and then finally toe-to-toe against a legendary puncher in the same manner as against Lopez. It was over for Gomez. He was rendered helpless, and Sanchez had proved himself a truly great champion, though only 23 years of age. And, of course, he was heralded then. He had waited a long time for it in boxing terms, those face again in some 3 weeks. And yet, though an opponent, Laporte tells what developed between them.
He used to call me Juanito, you know, and we used to call, they call him El Chavo, so we used to call him Chavo. And, you know, we had something going, you know, like friendship. And losing him like that, you know, that's bad because I know a lot of kids out there, you know, love him as well as everybody else out here. And it's bad to see a person, you know, like that go away.
It was a cold blow to me. It was a hard thing for me to take. I wasn't really on a one-to-one base with him, a close friend or anything, but as a man who came in and took the title from me, and I consider myself a pretty good champion at the time, and he came and he showed me he was better. And to hear that he's dead at the age of 23 was hard to take.
When one is but 23 years of age and dies tragically in an accident, there is no fulfillment for the fullness of life, no opportunity to do all of the things you wanted to do. In Salvador's case, his dream was to retire in another year, study, become a doctor. But no chance of that. Under the circumstances, it seems the best thing to do is to let his athletic skills, magnificent as they were, speak for themselves in this, his last fight against tough Azuma Nelson, July 21 past at Madison Square Garden in New York City. It was the final round ever of his career, and perhaps symbolically, the final round of his life.
This bout at 1 minute and 49 seconds of the 15th round, and a winner by a TKO, and still the world